Please join me in welcoming Ambassador Dr. Zomlot.
Thank you, Husam, our MC for tonight. And before I start my remarks for tonight, I'd like to start with Congressman Guterres. That very moving and touching speech you made. That chord between the people of the world and the Palestinian people. That eternal link between you and Palestine, that is Jessica. I tell you, she will cook maklou before you will eat. Prepare your stomach for the upside down experience. Before I came here, I was supposed to fly to Palestine, Congressman, because today is a leadership meeting where I am part of and was elected to. I had to apologize from the president, and I told him, I said, Mr. President, I'm going to Chicago. I described how significant this moment is for me to meet my family in Chicago, to the president. And I told him, that also we will be honored, Mr. President, by the presence of Congressman Guterres. I told him Congressman Guterres will be arriving from Puerto Rico to take part in our evening. He told me to tell you a message, to send you a message. This message is, we are not the richest country. We don't have most dollars. But help from Palestine is on its way to Puerto Rico, Congressman. We will send our firemen and the medical teams. We will send our good food, and we will send our love and our passion to your people. That's what I say. I also bring all of you the greetings of President Mahmoud Abbas. And before I start, I'd like just to thank Akhi, Amir, Darwish, and the coalition of Palestinian American organizations for giving me this honor. And Amir, I don't think it's a coincidence that your name is Amir. You are an Amir. Amir of your community, the respect that you earn through the years of your hard work and dedication is something we bow for, salute, and respect. Thank you, and thank all your people. And I am humbled to see all the heads of the various organizations here in Chicago, all the representatives of the different institutions. I can see all of my friends here. The Palestinian American Council, the Holy Land Trust, Hajj Abul Mishan, where is he? Is he here? The last one, always the last, but in the forefront, Ya Hajj, you are all the times. All the institutions, I think I saw the representatives of the American Muslims for Palestine, or Muslim Americans for Palestine. American Muslim for Palestine. I had the privilege and the honor of visiting their headquarters today and visiting the Holy Land Fund and visiting many other institutions. I also see family around. I have my uncle, my mother's brother actually, here. So I mean it, Khal, when I say I'm coming to Chicago to be among my family. It's physical, literal meaning. I am here to be among my family. And brothers and sisters, friends, I have really dreamed about this moment. The moment President Abbas told me of his decision to appoint me an ambassador here, I thought of Chicago. And I almost wanted to fly from Amman to Chicago, not to Washington. Because the first thing is to give the blessing, the support of my own family before I start this very difficult job. It didn't work because I had to arrange for our president to arrive at the White House. But it worked at the right time, at the right moment. I was blessed yesterday and today to see the success of this community. The triumph that you have managed to do. The presence of your institutions. You have really made a long journey. I was told that even part of Chicago was declared by the previous government as Little Palestine. It's an acknowledgement. of your contribution to this great country. And I was really touched today particularly to see the level of success of a community that has suffered so much of dehumanization, Congressman, suffered from so many campaigns to disconnect them, but a community that was able to sustain, to unite, and to raise the best kids there is. If you see our youngsters around, you will see how much investment this community has made. And believe you me, this is the pride of my life to represent you. It is. Everywhere I go, I feel so proud to be the Palestinian representative to the US, your ambassador. Today, I felt, what an army. You have no arms, but you have passion, and you have commitment, and you have investment in today and the future. And what a community I have been encountering. I was in Houston just a few days after the hurricane, Congressman Abu Yusuf. And I saw in that community the best there is in America and the best there is in Palestine. The first community, Akhi George, that opened its homes was the Palestinian community of Texas, that opened its churches and its mosques in rescue of their fellow Americans. And I also saw the success of our community in New Jersey. You know, a Canadian friend of mine was just teasing me when I arrived, saying that, you know, I only take a plane back to my home country, Canada, and it takes me an hour to be there. You poor Palestinian, it takes you hours, 20 hours to get back home. You must be homesick. I told them, don't worry, I have Patterson to go to. It's only 1 hour. And I also have Chicago. I'm also thrilled to be standing here in front of you today, only a few days, actually only 2 days, after the great, thrilling, inspiring news that came from Gaza. Finally, we all have waited for this moment a long time. A decade of ugliness, a bleak decade, a bleak chapter. We did not like it. We were never a disunited society. We are a very united nation. That was an anomaly, Congressman, in our history. We are a nation that is very united through our history. And what happened over the last 10 years. You may be aware, all of you, that the Palestinian government has returned to Gaza 2 days ago. And you have seen the thousands of the people in Gaza taking off to the street in reception, in welcoming their central, legitimate, sole representatives. You've seen the happiness in the eyes of the people in Gaza, in Jerusalem, in the West Bank, and here in America and elsewhere. I promise you one thing, this is not going to be an easy road. This is not going to be an easy path, but we will travel it. We have no alternative. Our people demand it. Our cause require it. We have enough enemies. And we know how much work has been done to divide us and fragment us. We may differ with each other, and we do. We do. We differ with Hamas. We differ. But Hamas is part of us. It is an integral part of the Palestinian national fabric. And we must learn together, agree how to disagree. And I think we are capable to do so. The journey will start in Cairo next week to discuss crucial issues. And the most significant part of these issues is how do we face the reality that Jessica will be telling you about when she arrives. How do we face it together? How do we agree on one political program? How do we agree on one liberation strategy? How do we stand together against the colonization, the theft, the humiliation, the control, the murder, the besiegement of an entire nation in Gaza, the colonization of Jerusalem, the warning of people in the West Bank, the deprivation and the denial of our diaspora and refugees to even visit their families. How do we face it together? What kind of program? What tools do we use? What political system do we need? Can we meet our people's expectation to have a renewed political democracy? And we have to renew our political process. We must renew our democratic process. I have a feeling that this time it's a train that has left the station. It might stop, might slow. Things are not easy. I don't want to be, have high expectations. But I tell you, this train is not going to go back. The train of unity, the train of reconciliation, the train of one representation has left the station. As you all know, I was appointed only a few months ago. And I just want to touch very quickly on my responsibility and our responsibility in that office. And then very quickly talk about our relationship and end there. The first and the foremost function I have as an ambassador is this. We, in number 1732 Wisconsin Avenue, Washington, that's the address of your embassy, represent all of you and each one of you. Be it a man or a woman, from the north or the south, Muslim or Christian, leftist or rightist, even from Hebrew. That's a joke. We represent everybody. There is one flag. There is one flag in Washington, D.C. There is one building that represents Palestine and every Palestinian. We may disagree among each other, and that's hell. And hell, I am proud to be representing all of you, regardless of where you come from, where you pray, what do you think. Sometimes you make me very angry with what you think, but I represent you. And this function is crucial because guess what? Those nations that did not have one representation, Congressman, vanished. Those nations who did not manage to unite and to disagree in closed rooms but present themselves with the other in one voice did not make it. We will tolerate anything except this. With the others, we represent ourselves with one voice, one address, one representation. It's called the Palestine Liberation Organization. That's why Brother Amir said, I represent the PLO, because the PLO represents every Palestinian. Palestinian Authority was established to undertake a certain function. The Palestinian Authority can come, the Palestinian Authority can go, but the PLO will never go, Akhi Amir. The second function we represent here is we are the official channel between the two countries, the great country of America and the great country of Palestine. We are the link between the two governments. I spend many hours at the White House, State Department, the various institutions of the administration. And we are the channel of communication. And this is a very important task at this very crucial moment. America has been vested and invested in our situation for many, many years. The US has been the sole arbitrator, mediator, and the relationship is crucial. And there is partnership between us and the US. There is much investment between us and the US. But your office in Washington is the architect of that relationship at the official level. But we are not just diplomats. We are not just diplomats. We are also advocates. We are freedom fighters, Congressman. And we have a very important function, which is advocacy. Keep up the struggle. spread the word, engage, change, challenge. And here we have two major tasks. The first is to engage the political system of America. And that's where you set the Congress and the political parties. And I tell you, since I arrived only a few months ago, I found 25 drafted laws against the Palestinians. Right, left, and center. It's almost a show who would ostracize us more. A law against us going to the United Nations. To the United Nations, not the mafia. A law against us if we use our stomach to boycott illegality. A law against us if we dare think of reverting to international legal system. A law against us if we take some oxygen by mistake. A law against us if we dare pay to the families of our prisoners and martyrs, called the Taylor Force Act. I'm sure you know it. That was the act that was tabled just when I arrived. And I met so many of the leadership of the Congress in both sides of the House and the Senate. We told them, this is misinformed. We told them that this is counterproductive. We explained that this payment to our families, the families of those victims of the occupation, are not aimed at encouraging violence, as they suggest, but at giving dignity to the people who deserve it. We went out of our way to explain that this program is very effective. But then they gave us a choice, Congressman. The choice is either we suspend our payment to these hundreds of thousands of individuals, or they will cut our funding. I had to make that choice in the Congress only a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago. And the choice we made is not 1 penny will be deducted from the families of the president. This is our commitment and responsibility. Those are the victims of an illegal occupation. We offer to be flexible, to engage. But when the moment of choice arrives, we will always side with our people. But I was alone, my family in the Congress in these few months. Alone. Up against how many organizations and institutions and those who want to deprive us even the right to speak, the right to use our pockets to resist. This cannot go on. This cannot go on. I need your help because I cannot make it on my own or on our own small office. This is not the work of an embassy to start with or a foreign government mission. This is the work of our community. Every congressman I met told me the real work starts in the constituency. And I tell you, Congressman, you have earned the support of this community for as long as you want to run. I can assure you that. But we need to do that. And your presence today is a testament of how crucial and important. You will open your doors for me in Washington because of the support of the community. This must be emulated. This must be repeated. This must be organized. This must be coordinated. This must be sustained. The last and the most significant strategic long-term task we have in that office is the change that is already happening in the public opinion of this country. Without the change in the public opinion, nothing will happen, brother. And for years, we have been framed. I arrived only a few months ago. All what I heard in the various discussions in the media, in any article about us, is that we, the Palestinians, teach our kids hatred in the school. We breed violence. I hear somebody saying, writing. We promote terrorism. We are intolerant. We hate. We produce sufficient hate. We are by nature violent. We are born kicking and screaming, and we just want to fight. I did not hear in America since I arrived that the Palestinian people are the model of diversity in the entire region, the model of tolerance, Congressman Jessica will tell you. That we are too peaceful, in fact. That we teach our kids, but we teach them life, resilience. I did not hear that the keys of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the holiest Christian site, the keys of that church has been held by a Palestinian Muslim family for hundreds of years. Because the Palestinian Christians and Muslims are equal. Because the Palestinian Christian community in Jerusalem and in Bethlehem trust their Muslim brothers and sisters more than they trust themselves. I did not hear that the Church of Nativity in Bethlehem is worshipped by Muslims as much as by Christians. It's been there for hundreds of years. I went to it many times. We also light candles. I did not hear the stories of success of this nation, right, left, and center. Many inspiring stories of success and tolerance and deep-rooted society. Our great traditions, other than the upside down, the Maklubi. Why I did not hear this in Washington? Why people don't know about all these stories about our society? Why people don't associate Palestine with what is really Palestine, the producer of civilization? Brothers, we started history. We started the civilization of mankind, the oldest city on earth, the oldest community on earth in history is where? In Jericho. We have produced almost all prophets. Don't blame us for that. Jesus is a Palestinian.
Refugee.
Bethlehem is a Palestinian city, great city. Nazareth. And people associate us not with the Prince of Peace, not with Christmas. Some ask me, do you celebrate Christmas? Hell, if the whole world celebrate the birth of a Palestinian, I don't celebrate Christmas, I do celebrate it. Why are we not associated with the truth about the Palestinian society? Why are we associated? Because there are people, there are organizations, there are institutions funded, organized, vicious, aggressive to frame us this way. It is about time, my friends, brothers and sisters, that we stand tall and tell our story. With pride, because we have a hell of a story to tell. About our mothers and grandmothers. About a society, despite the Nakba and the occupation and the oppression, we have zero illiteracy rate. About a society that has produced, under this most inhumane circumstances, the highest per capita PhD graduates in the world. And I believe after today in Chicago, hell is in its way. I really feel so. Today we met around 45, 50 heads of institutions at the invitation of the coalition. And I did not expect the outcome, but the outcome, I pleaded that all what we need now is unity, coordination, and planning. The outcome was forming one coordination committee for the entire area of the Midwest, for the Palestinian American institutions and organizations. We called it what, Abu Ashraf? We called it the steering committee. for the Midwest, the Palestinian American institution. 7 of your brothers and sisters. Fortunately, 1 sister. We need more sisters. Here is she. Basil? Basil. We're very proud of you and what you do, and I was touched by visiting you. I don't want to go into what we need to do to be able to take up our historic task as a community and as an image in this country. But believe you me, this country matters. Believe you me, the moment we do our task is the moment your people will be free. Believe you me, the most important asset we have is the almost 1 million Palestinians living in the United States. 1 of every 20 Palestinians is an American. And not any American, look at them. Vicious, certain, confident, educated, integrated, proud Americans and proud Palestinians. And it's about time that we mobilize and activate this resource, this army, at full. And I did write a couple of ideas of how, but I leave that to the committees and the discussion and the strategization. It's going to take time. But I want to end with this. I firmly believe that this is our moment in America. I do. Give time to time. We have come of age. This is our moment in America. You've heard the congressman. Netanyahu, 2 years ago, when he visited the Congress and addressed the joint Congress, made history. He made history, Congress, because that was the first time 60 congressmen boycotted the Prime Minister of Israel. And we see not only that, I meet many of your colleagues in the House and in the Senate on a daily basis. I just met one of your representatives, Senator Durbin, a few days ago. Things are changing in the Hill and changing fast. I see the change in the American youth. They are much better than their parents, I have to say. I must admit and be very undiplomatic. They are brave, they are knowledgeable, and thanks to the social media, they know way more than their parents. I see the change among our own community, our youth. You, the older generation, have made it. You survived, you sustained. But your kids are going to take us into a different league now. They have nothing to hide, nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. Their belief in their Americanishness, if I may use that term, and Palestinianishness is absolute. And they don't see any contradiction. The older generation was not certain about it. I see the change even among the Jewish community in America and the relationship with it. I see the change in the civil society. I see the change in the Church of America. This is our moment. But we, friends, have got to be ready for America. And the only way we can be ready for America is to be united, is to be organized, is to be coordinated. And let me say that the moment we are, work will begin, and this country will be transformed. And we will be saying, may we bring, as a community, the truth to America, and may we bring freedom to the people of Palestine. Thank you very much.